Welcome back to Dummy Boy Finance. I'm Dummy Boy, and we're going to get straight into our explosive penny stock watch list. So the first stock we're looking at here is Humble on the daily time frame, down about 2.67%. So overall today, we just continue to consolidate between this dollar and this 90 cents range. We have a support level here at around 85 cents. And so as of right now, this is the accumulation zone to be buying in on Humble. I don't believe that we're going to get price action below this point. If we do, it's going to be for a short period of time where people are going to load up big before we start to see a major reversal. We saw the worst case scenario play out here. We had the death cross. We got rejected by our 50 SMA right here. And so we have trended down. And since we have seen the worst case scenario play out with Humble, which was the death cross, we have been trending downwards from that point. Our 50 SMA now is literally in line with this level of resistance we have here in this triangle. And so since we have pretty significant support at 85 cents and we have resistance at this point, I do believe Humble is going to continue to trade out in this pattern till the end of August. From this point on, we are going to see a large move. If it dips down, it is going to be a very quick drop down, because that is going to be the last attempt I believe people are going to try to make to get cheap shares on this stock. However, from this point on, expect Humble to slowly start to gradually increase in price action and eventually get back above this uptrend line. I just can't see the stock at depressed levels for too long. There's just too many buyers out there that will buy up this stock in a heartbeat if it gets to certain levels. And right now we are at a very intriguing levels. I know a lot of people may be exhausted from up here that have been averaging down. Some people may have bought in so early that they haven't been able to average up. And so there's two different scenarios happening, but at the end of the day, we know there's a lot of support here for Humble. The Olympics are starting. We're about to see some of our athletes in action. It's going to be a great time to be a Humble investor. Right now is the time to just load up and accumulate. Like Facebook, like Google, like Amazon, it didn't happen all in one day. It was a gradual increase in time, which is the most important aspect of a startup company. Just give it time and everything will play out how it should. Speaking of time and playing out how it should, we're looking at IGEN here on the daily time frame, down 3.61%. And so this stock continues to go down, but I continue to accumulate. Why? Because the chart shows me that people are also accumulating. So this is clear divergence. You can see the price action has been just going down, but our accumulation has going up. Even if we look at just today we've seen the accumulation go crazy, although our price action was red. And so because this actually was such a great accumulation day and a pretty strong doji candle, I do think we are going to start to reverse here starting next week. I think this was a great day to be buying in on IGEN. If you're able to capitalize on these lows, congratulations. You can look at our RSI and see we are oversold right now. We are at oversold levels at 33. And so with this stock, we have seen the price below the 50 SMA since the beginning of March. But that also coincides with an increase in accumulation from every point on since that moment in time. So great indicators right now, great technical outlook on IGEN. Patent approved company trading under $7 million market cap. Really great buyout candidate. If it gets revenues rolling, this thing could surge very quickly. All of our estimates are still very close together. So we should expect to see the price action drift up here next week. Look for this level of resistance next week. If we can't break this level of resistance, then we will continue to trend down and we will start to see lower lows. However, if we break past this level of resistance and get our price above our 50, we are starting to look good here on IGEN. I believe between September and December is going to be a great time to be holding this stock. I think from now till September is a great time to be loading up on IGEN. Next stock of the day, looking at SEGI on the daily time frame. So again, SEGI is just near support right now. No real hurry to get in if you have yet to. If you have been buying up here, these are great times to be averaging down your position, getting as low as possible. We have seen very low levels on our RSI since March as well. And so while we're looking at the price action right now, a lot of stocks are trading below their 50 SMA. And so if you aren't in any of these stocks and you're a new individual watching these videos, scenarios, what you want to see is the price action get above the 50 to open a position as a trade. You are going to sell at the top of that run, and then you are going to buy long once you get the retest and the back test on the 50 SMA. That's kind of the formula that I have been using on trading stocks. A lot of these stocks I've been averaging down personally. I do believe in the long-term outlook on some of my picks, and so I'm excited to see how they play out. With SEGI, wait till you break above the 50, or if you're in the long term, these are just great levels to be accumulating. Next stock of the day, we're looking at ALYI on the daily. So ALYI was up today, but it was a very tough day. So for the last couple of days, you could see we were breaking down. We broke past our level of support. We broke down. We started to claw our way back. But you can see right here, we got rejected by our 50 and our 200-day SMA. So this was a very bearish setup. However, because we are still very close to our level of support, it is not the time to panic yet. These two red days were on very low volume. These two green days were on better volume. And so when you look at the technical outlook, we did technically get the death cross. And since we did get rejected here, I do expect ALYI to trend down. However, because we are very close to this point, at any moment in time, we can get above this point. And once we get above this point, this is going to curl right back up, and that will create the golden cross. So this is still a very, very bullish scenario if this crosses up and we see the price action get back above the green line. Something that's not bullish though, however, is HYSR on the daily, down 2.36%, and today we closed below a key level of support. So you could just see lots of red here. Our RSI is not oversold just yet, but we are at a 31. We've been trading with a relatively low RSI since March as well. And so we're below all of our SMAs. We've had our death cross. HYSR is getting to levels that it's going to get very attractive under this point. Although I'm not a fan of this as a long-term hold, I do know stocks go up and stocks go down, which is why this is on our list still, because there is trading opportunities in this play. I don't think HYSR is going to be under this support line for too long, but because it closed below it, that's not a great sign. So you are going to get very nice buying opportunities. I think if you can get this stock below this level of support, that is a good entry point, and you should have a better risk to reward setup. Next stock of the day, we're looking at MJNA on the daily. So MJNA only up 8% today. We have been holding this level of support very nicely. So you can see we've been on a clear downtrend right here. We did get our death cross, so I do expect the price action to drift lower. Because we are in this pattern, I do think we are going to break this pattern to the downside, and we are going to test this level of support that does coincide with around 2 cents. And so I think at this point we will start to see the price action start to bottom, but I do think we will break past this level just because we got our rejection and our death cross very recently. Next stock of the day, we're looking at RDGL. So RDGL is getting closer and closer to a buy every single day. The reason why I say that is the clock is ticking on you to pick up your shares here on RDGL. So we have been in a triangle pattern since December of 2020. We had a huge pre-anticipatory run here for RDGL, and now we are getting to the end of this pattern that does conclude here in September. So when I'm looking at the price action, the green line, our 50 SMA is the gold standard. It's above all of our SMAs, so that's extremely bullish, as well as the fact that we have tested this line all 4 days here this week and we closed above. So this is great price action holding above the 50. Next step is to break past this level of resistance. Once this thing breaks, that is when RDGL is going to start to make large moves to the upside. You can see behind the scenes, our 200-day SMA is just slowly creeping up as well. So now we have all of our SMAs in this triangle. We have our SMAs starting to coil up. So you can see when we were far away like this, we did need to cool down, but now we are getting close together again. And this is going to be ready for the next move up. Of all the stocks right now that we are covering, for the shortest term benefit, RDGL has a clear pattern that if it breaks this, this is a buy and you should ride this one out. Next stock of the day, we're looking at ACDC on the daily time frame. So another stock that's having similar price action to RDGL is ACDC. And so the reason I say that is we have a pattern that concludes here by mid-August. We are trading above our 50. So you can see we got our back test here. We tested it again yesterday. And then today we actually got rejected by resistance. So for the next step in ACDC, we want to break this level of resistance to the upside. And same thing, if this breaks, mixed back test, then this is a buy at those levels for a trade. But for the long term, you are getting ACDC at a steal anyway. So I think at these prices, it is a no-brainer to be buying ACDC. But if you're a trader, wait for the breakout back test, and that's where you're going to hop in. And that is personally what I'm waiting here for ACDC right now. Next stock of the day, we're looking at Job on the daily time frame. So Job has been in a terrible situation for about a year and a half now. We are in a descending pattern right now. We do have two horizontal lines that are parallel to each other that we have been trading in since about April. We closed today below this line of support, so that was very tough price action. Since we closed below this level of support, I do believe that Job is going to have a couple more weeks down here before we start to see the price action curl up. Our SMAs are starting to come down. We are below our 50, and our 50 is well away from all of our other SMAs. So even at these prices, you're getting Job at a steal, but you could get it at even better prices if you're patient enough to wait for another couple weeks. Next stock of the day, we're looking at SNDL on the daily time frame. So SNDL was down 3.4% today. When we're looking at it on our 200-day SMA, we closed below. This is an extremely bearish setup right now for SNDL. We're below all of our SMAs. We have crazy distribution on the stock, meaning people are continuing to sell. Our RSI still has some more room to the downside. I do think we will start to find some support along this level right here, and so that would coincide with prices below 70 cents. And so be ready to scoop up SNDL if it gets below 70 cents. If you're buying SNDL right now for the long term, you are still getting it at a pretty good price. I'm not a fan of SNDL for a long-term hold. I just believe that there are better cannabis companies to own, like High Tide. And so when I look at SNDL though, I am not going to be ignorant to opportunity, because this is a crazy momentum play that runs when it does have some hype behind it. And so when we start to get some federal legalization talks going, SNDL is going to start to have some nice moves, and that is what we're preparing for. We're trying to get the best possible price before that moment happens, and right now I do think we are going to get better opportunities in the next coming weeks. There you guys have it. If you guys enjoyed this quick little update on our explosive penny stock watch list, don't forget to like. We are on the road to 10K subs, so if you made it to this point, feel free to hit that subscription button. This is Dummy Boy Finance. I'm Dummy Boy, and I'll see you guys in the next one.